Oh, hey, look at that. We're live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Me and Triple X, Alex Medeiros, back again, second week in a row. Let me adjust my camera here. This is way off center. Yeah, we're just a couple of Christians ranting about politics and culture. So if you want to hear us do that, if you disagree with us, if you agree with us, either way, you came to the right place. I'm Jeremiah Campana. You can find me on YouTube if you're not watching on my channel at Jeremiah Campana. Just dropped that Christmas episode. If you want to get into the Christmas spirit, brother Alex joined me actually on the third annual Christmas Roundtable. Make sure you check that out. Alex, how you doing? Tell the good folks about yourself.
Man, I am doing amazing. Thank you, Jeremiah, for introducing us tonight. I'm just excited to talk about some politics, man. I'm glad we're doing this. It's our second week, right?
Second week, first week, I think went smooth. I think maybe we'll get better at this every week we do it, possibly.
Absolutely. There's a lot to talk about this week.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you sent me some topics to talk about, and then I feel like 20 more things happened after you sent that to me as well.
And this is supposed to be the slow season.
Yeah, right. But let's talk about the festivities in the White House. I mean, the White House is Christmased out. How do you feel about that?
Dude, I love it. I haven't seen it though. I remember ragging on Jill Biden's White House Christmas decorations last year, or whenever when they did that video tour with all the it seemed like the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory is what it looked like. It looked hideous and it was terrible. I remember that, but I have not seen what Trump did this year.
Yeah, no,
tell me you can show us. Tell me you got a video of a walkthrough here.
I should be a little bit more prepared, but while I get this video up,
I guarantee you it's more classy without even seeing it. Without even seeing this video, I can tell you it's less gay, more classy, and I bet there's at least one nativity. There's one nod to Jesus in there somewhere. Whereas when the Bidens were in office, we got zero Jesus on Christmas or Easter.
All right, so here's a whole video the White House put out. Let's see. Look, we got some fancy new layouts, guys. How do you like the layouts? What's up, Randy?
Yeah. Do you like the top bottom layout or the side layout?
And then look at this. Ready?
Alex,
entire screen.
Promise we're going to show you this video, folks.
Boom. Oh, no, wait. Now it's boom. Look at this. This is beautiful. All right. So this is the White House in 2025. We'll turn down the volume a little bit. Yeah, Christmas decorations.
I already love the somber music playing.
Right?
Oh.
This is Christmas.
Oh yeah. I got the feels, man. I got the feels. Be best. We can do better with motivational slogans.
Yeah.
Be best.
Was that a Trump NFT? You see that?
It was. It was epic. America 250. Okay, a lot of gold.
That's like kind of Trump's thing.
Huh? I knew it. I called it. I knew it.
There it is. At least one, I'll take it.
Yes, I'll take it. No, that was great. Not to, we didn't need the whole song and dance routine like we got last year. We got exactly what we should have gotten there. Other than that slogan, the "Be Best," I think we could have changed that. Other than that, I think it was not.
Yeah, where did that even come from?
Right,
who came up with that.
I know you were tasked with giving the first lady a motivational bulb, and you put "Be Best" on it. Okay. Yeah. So how much are you getting paid? Can I have your job?
I mean, even just like a good old MAGA would have been better than that.
Yeah. Hashtag MAGA. That would have definitely been better than "Be Best."
That's like what was it? Biden build back better.
Yeah.
Was that Kamala's thing? Yeah.
Better be the best. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
So the reason I brought up Christmas in the White House is because Trump did just give an announcement speech, right? Now, this speech, this announcement, right, he framed it as, was on the heels of rumors of war with Venezuela,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Even I read something on X last night. I'm not sure if you saw this, but it was talking about how Maduro had troops ready. You see anything like that on X?
Yeah. Yep. They're ready for the invasion. He's ready for it.
Yeah. As soon as tonight we could start fighting. Now I wonder, do you think this was, because I also heard this, do you think this was a 4D chess move by Trump? Right? You got the 4D chess people talking.
4D chess in what way? I think it was purposely done, right? So at 9 p.m. last night, he gives the speech, and everybody is anticipating declaring war with Venezuela. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be beating the war drums. He doesn't even bring it up, made all those people look stupid. What I really think yesterday was they're already prepping for midterms because it's looking bad for the midterms right now. So it's
Yeah.
almost like it was a campaign speech, like
Right.
rah rah, shish boom ba. Everybody gather into the gymnasium for our homecoming. That they do at the high schools. I forget what they call it, but
Yeah.
the gather at the field house for so we can all.
Yeah.
What do they call those? Someone in the chat, man. What do they call them?
Spirit Week.
Spirit Week, yeah. But there's a specific name for that event where you're
somebody
all
in the
the
chat's got to
gymnasium.
know.
Yeah, someone in the chat's got to know. But yeah. So I don't know. What do you think that was? Because I thought it was. I went to X right away afterwards.
Pep rally.
Yeah, pep rally, yes.
There you go.
It was a pep rally. How great the country's doing, and for the most part, now he was very careful with his words. Because the country is doing better in some ways, in other ways, not so much. Right? Gas is cheaper, but groceries, only some of those have come down. The grocery bills are still kind of high. It still sucks to buy a house. The interest rates, which he has no control over, are still high, right? That's another reason you can't buy a house, because the Federal Reserve won't lower interest rates and boom this economy. But what are your thoughts on it, man? What do you think he was doing?
Well, speaking of the housing industry, I think it was amazing that he brought up the problem with illegal immigration in the housing crisis, right? It's very simple, supply and demand. You got more people wanting to rent and buy houses, and you have less houses to buy and rent. So what happens, right? Prices go up. I do think there's a website, fairus.org. And I think, let's see, I pulled it up here. Yeah, December 18th. Oh, well, no, they just put this out because on the heels of Trump announcing this, of course. But they put out something, I want to say months ago, where they linked illegal immigration to the housing crisis as well. So go to fairus.org if you want to read more about that. They make some great points. But basically, yeah, go
ahead. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. One of the points that they made is what happens is they. This is how it goes with rent. So this might not actually apply, but in Springfield, where the Haitians are all immigrated to, and we had that whole Haitian thing, eating dogs and cats and all that. What they were doing is they were in houses that were being rented and apartments that were being rented. They would crowd like 7, 8, 10, 12 people in one apartment, in one house. The landlord jacks the rent up and prices out all the people who have been living there, who are paying cheap rent, out, because the landlord I can charge double rent, and they'll get 20 people in there to divide it up and pay it, and it's no problem for them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a big factor. Real quick, we got a $5 super chat. I've officially started my Jeremiah and Alex marathon. This is an update for Jeremiah. Michael Rogers, another brother in the Hammer and Anvil Society. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for that.
Appreciate you, brother. I'm quizzing you. I want to ask you what your favorite video of mine was, Michael. So be prepared for the test. Also in the chat, this John Dragons guy? Yeah, I miss the
Tons of
gays
gun.
frolicking in the White
Yeah.
House always. Yeah, we talked about that
We all
earlier.
do.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Oh man.
But
What else?
the fear thing. You said,
Yeah, fairus.org. It actually, I just found it. November 1st, 2025. They put out a housing affordability report, and this is an NGO, Federation for American Immigration Reform. Right? They do a lot of studies on immigration, and I mean, it's too much to go through all right now. We have a lot of other things to talk about, but
for sure.
there's tons. If you just go to fairus.org and just search housing affordability, it was a paper they put out on November 1st, 2025.
And listen, it's going to be
Um,
different state by state. Also, Will Dean 1341. We don't hate gay people, but we do hate the gay agenda, the ideology. It's evil and it's demonic, but that doesn't mean we hate the people. I want to be clear about that. But
yeah.
as far as housing goes, it's going to be different state by state. So, like in Ohio, real quick rundown, right? So, you said supply and demand earlier. Obviously, if the supply is low, the demand is high, the prices go up, right? Well, here in Ohio, we're in a bit of a unique situation where there's plenty of supply and there's about equal demand, but the prices still keep going up. And the property taxes and the insurance are doubling and tripling and quadrupling. So now you have
Oh
people who've
man.
lived in their homes or even paid them off, and they're about to be taxed out of their homes that they lived in their entire lives. It's pretty wild stuff out there. I tell people Trump has very little he can do about the housing market. That battle is going to be won in your state because each state is going to regulate insurance and taxes differently.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's definitely solid points there. It's not just about supply and demand, but I mean, let's say we have 10, 15 million illegal immigrants in America. What happens if Trump actually successfully deports, 5, 6, 7, 8 million of them over the next 4 years? Do you think that'll actually at least bring it down a little bit?
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure, 100%. No, I see what you're saying as far as that goes. And we saw that during COVID, right? Where the demand was crazy high and there wasn't enough houses to go around. Part of that is probably because we have 20, 30, 40 million illegal immigrants here competing for those houses and the jobs, right? So much stuff. We don't have to get into all the things that come along with illegal immigration, but it definitely affects the
Yeah.
housing market for sure.
Yeah, last thing on illegal immigration, Trump did, double down and say they were ramping up efforts to obviously secure the border, which is pretty secure right now, and also deport more people, which is good. I'm still waiting for the official ICE statistics. The White House does
Mhm.
claim that they've deported over 500,000 people. That would be awesome if true, but a lot of people are doubting it. Right? The ICE is supposed to report
Mhm.
quarterly. They haven't been doing so. I'm hoping for the best, but we'll see when the reports come out. Now, what do you think? There was an interesting because Trump's been floating this $2,000 payment thing, right? And
Mhm.
what he announced like the warrior dividend. Maybe this is kind of like the first taste of the tariff money. But it's a $1,776 bonus payment to active duty U.S. military members, calling it a warrior dividend. I think there's 1.5 million active military members. I could be wrong on that, but
Not sure,
let's see.
not
What do you
sure,
think?
but
What do you think about that?
um, I mean, I don't think it's enough. If our military does a lot for us, and sometimes they do things that are morally questionable, like go to Iraq and Afghanistan and fight for absolutely nothing, but they do it in most of the soldiers that you talk to. They don't do it because of that. They do it because they care about their families, they care about their communities, and they put their lives on the line for those reasons. And I think that's the least you could give them. I think
Yeah.
it's great, but hey, what more can we do for our veterans? How can we reshape
Yeah.
veterans affairs? How can we what else can we do for them? But no, that's I don't think it's a bad thing by any means.
He did say it would come before Christmas, I'm pretty sure, right? Am I right on that?
That I am not sure. If it did, that's great because Christmas, depending on the size of your family, can be very a hefty bill. It's
Yeah. So $1,700 would make a great Christmas for a lot of
yes,
families.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially since toys and like, because most, you have boys, right? They probably want
Yeah,
video games, and video games aren't getting cheaper. Neither are the consoles they play them on. Nintendo Switch is like what, $400, and like VR headsets are like 800
yeah.
bucks, $600. Like it's crazy. Like when I was growing up playing Sega Genesis, it was a little easier on the parents' pockets.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're having a cheap Christmas this year. I'm only spending like $100 a kid this year. It's tight around
Oh,
the Medeiros
okay.
household, but
Okay.
we have had like 1 year we bought them all iPads. It was like a $1,200 Christmas just for the iPads. It's definitely not cheap.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, if he drops that before Christmas, give them a little Christmas bonus for their families. I think that'll be good. Vector
Yeah.
Man, yes, absolutely. Call back to Sega Genesis.
All right, what else? Let's see. I have a list of what else he talked about. Let's see if there's anything other interesting. If not, we can go to the story that you told me about, which is very interesting. Let's see here. I got rid of the tab. We're rookies here, guys. We're gonna be getting much better. I
Bear with us. This
promise.
is only our second live stream
It's
together. There's
it's
going to be some
holiday
hiccups.
season.
Yeah,
We don't have a lot of time to prepare. Once me and Jeremiah get this down, you'll be blown
for
away. I
sure.
promise.
For sure. Well, while he's looking that up, don't forget to head to my channel and watch the Christmas Roundtable. Alex joined me. Joel Sedekase, if you're a fan of the Think Institute, he was there. We had five solid brothers in Christ, just all things Christmas related. Great show. Make sure you go check that out.
Yeah, that was awesome, and you'll see it in your subscriber feed if you're subscribed to me. We did the collab feature, which was fun. Yeah, I mean, other than the immigration and the bonus payments, he in the economy statements, he talked about foreign policy, in the Middle East, but it was really just him kind of bragging about his wins, which is awesome. I'm here for that.
For
And
sure.
talking about the Federal Reserve and interest rates, he said his next nominee for Federal Reserve chair would strongly support lower interest rates. What do you think about that?
Well, I support. Listen, I am not. I'm a former libertarian, because libertarians, some of their philosophy is great. The Libertarian Party is a joke, and a lot of the people in there are just immature autistic folks. But I digress. I do know some good libertarians, some good Christian libertarians, but I am very libertarian when it comes to the Federal Reserve. Abolish it. Get rid of it. The only reason we have runaway inflation, the only reason we have depressions and any downturn in the economy that stays that way is because of the Federal Reserve. Our economy would bounce back quicker and stronger should that institution not even exist. So, great. Yeah, sure, Trump, lower those interest rates so I can refinance my mortgage. However, what you really need to be looking at is abolishing it. And I do believe Thomas Massie has introduced bills in the past to do such a thing. And I don't care how you feel about Thomas Massie. It's a great idea. Get rid of the Federal Reserve, and this economy will suffer for a moment, but will be the strongest it's ever been. So short-term pain, long-term gain if you get rid of the Federal Reserve.
Yep. That'll be in it. Maybe that we could probably do a whole podcast on that.
Oh yeah, we do for sure.
Yeah, he signed an executive order, marijuana going Schedule 3. That's
Not
an
a fan of
interesting
that.
move.
Not a fan of that. But yeah, it's a two-way streak, right? Because I don't think, again, libertarian philosophy, right? Legalize drugs and everything will be hunky-dory. Well, we know, looking around the world from cases that did that that's actually not the case. Portland, Oregon legalized drugs. They made them illegal again because it went so terrible. And I can't remember the name of the foreign country that's been doing it for a long time. But at first, when they did it, gosh, I wish I could remember the name of the country.
How about Amsterdam?
No, it's not Amsterdam,
No?
but because they legalized more than just weed. It was all kinds of stuff. But in the short term, like drug overdoses went down, but as time went on, drug overdoses, it didn't decrease the amount of drug use or overdose deaths in the long run. Portugal, yes, that's right. The chat got it right. So yeah,
Portugal. How could you forget that? I'm literally Portuguese.
Yeah, right.
My dad is from San Miguel.
But they when they first did it, experienced some good decreases in drug use, drug overdose deaths. People were getting help, but as time went on, all that went right back up. So, I don't think it's the right play,
right?
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense that the people who grew up with the negative stigma around drugs, especially being illegal, it's not like just because it becomes legal, they're going to do it. But then growing up without the stigma, it makes sense that people would be more inclined to use it, right? As the years go on.
Yeah, it doesn't deter use in any way, shape, or
Yeah.
form. In fact, most people, when given the option to choose if recovery or not, they're gonna not choose to go to recovery. So that's a problem too. It's like, well, yeah, we want to encourage people to go to rehab. Well, if they don't want to go, and most drug addicts, being a former one myself, don't want to go. So, it's a two-way street. However, here's one good thing that does come from the declassification, the downgrading of marijuana, is it is impossible to do proper studies of marijuana because you can't get federal dollars to do those studies. So we don't have a lot of good data on marijuana because it was classified with heroin and cocaine. And, right, you're not going to get a grant to study heroin and the effects on people. Now you can do that with marijuana, right? So if you're a university or you're a private company looking to do these studies, now you can do them without fear of being arrested by the federal government, basically. And that'll be good. That'll be good because I think the more science we get behind marijuana use, I think we'll see that actually long-term marijuana use is, and I can tell you this without there being a study, but
Yeah.
it'll be proven one day that long-term use
Yeah.
is a huge detriment to your mental state.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And, obviously there are medical uses. I remember, I think it
Sure.
was my second child where I found out that fentanyl, which Trump also talked about, is actually used for the epidural. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
interesting.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And you know what? And people say medical, and yes, if you have to use it for medical reasons, I'm all for that. But I got a little cousin. I won't name him, but he's from South Carolina, and he came to visit over the summer, and I know he's smoking weed. And so because he's like defending it, like we're talking about it, it came up in conversation, and he brought up like the medical aspect, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you don't use marijuana for
Yeah.
medical reasons. He was like, well, yeah. Like people like to use that,
Yeah.
but most people aren't using it for
No.
medical reasons.
But
They're
it
using
helps
it
me
for
sleep,
recreation.
bro.
Yeah, helps me sleep, gets rid of the headaches, bro. Like, dude, stop. You just want to get high.
Uh,
You don't care.
yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see. I'm gonna bring up.
What do you think? Do you think? Do you
Okay.
think it's a sin for Christians to get high, Alex?
It's a hard blanket statement to make. Marijuana is weird, man. Obviously, you can have. All right, look, my mother-in-law has literally half a drink, and man, something about her changes. Right? It takes me at least 3 beers in an hour to get to that level. All right, like
Okay.
we just
Okay.
alcohol is like that, right?
Right.
Now, if you just don't smoke weed, it really doesn't matter who you are. You take one hit off a joint, I mean, you're gonna be a different person.
Yes.
So it's like, but then when I smoked very regularly, it didn't really affect me if I took a
You built
couple
the
hits off of a
tolerance.
joint.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a very weird thing. And then also you can't really escape the getting high part if you use it medicinally. So if you're using something medicinally and there's a side effect that gets you high, I mean, there's medicine
Good
that you
point.
use that you have to have, and it
Yeah.
affects you mentally. So I don't think you can make a blanket statement like that. However, I do think what does Paul say?
Be of
Everything
sober mind.
is, and what does he say? Everything is something, but not everything is profitable.
Oh,
Everything is allowed or something along those lines, but not everything is profitable. And I think that's a great, like, all right, I have the freedom to have a few beers, right? Maybe, dude, I'm a big guy. I could probably drink 6 beers while we do this episode, and I'm not going to be drunk by the end. But if I do that every single night, that's not profitable for me, you know?
Right. 1 Corinthians 10:23. You say I'm allowed to do anything, but not everything is good for you. You say I'm allowed to do anything, but not everything is beneficial. The English Standard Version says all things are lawful, but not all things are helpful.
All things, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, whether it's sinful or not, that's a a different discussion. But I mean, just why do it if like
Right. I think
I
there's
don't know.
shades of gray. I think you brought up a good point about if you are using it medicinally, right? If you have cancer and you're like, I gotta eat or whatever, you can't avoid that side effect. So, is
Yeah,
that a sin then that you smoke so you could eat while you're going through chemo? God is just and God is righteous. So, I think that there being shades of gray, He knows which aspects of it are black and white and which ones are gray. I think if you're just doing it to get high, I think that probably is a sin. Yes.
yeah. Dude, I'm having trouble finding the link. Didn't you send me an email with a few
Yeah. You want me to
videos
resend
in
it?
it? Yeah.
Here, let me forward it to you. All right. You should be
Oh,
getting
which
that.
email did you send it to?
So, your
Don't
Gmail.
dox it. I got they're both Gmail.
All right. It is A as in alpha. L.
Yeah, yeah. All right. That's why I was in the wrong one. All right. Let's see here.
What's going on in the chat here?
Yeah, say
Only
hi to
the
the chat while
user
I bring
knows
this
their
up.
intent. That is true. Uh,
It's
so
true.
the user would know if they are sinning. Right? Like when I got out of rehab and was California sober for a little bit, like you knew. I just knew. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm not doing alcohol and cocaine anymore. I'm just doing weed. Yeah, and then I quit doing that because I just knew it was wrong. It just felt wrong. Oh yeah,
Right.
target employee. Let's get it.
042. Oh, no, sorry. You almost tricked me, Dan. Um,
Okay,
yeah,
so
all
you want to
right.
set this
Ready
up,
for
or
this?
do you want me to set this up
Yeah, you
for
set it
those?
up.
Okay, yeah. So for those of you who haven't seen this yet, so a Target employee. So I didn't know that Target employees were allowed to wear red shirts. Didn't matter what was on them. I thought that
Yeah.
like every other store, you had a polo that you got that you had to wear. But apparently at Target, you're allowed to wear any red shirt you want. So this lady wore a red Charlie Kirk shirt, and and here's what happened.
Why?
They let you wear that shirt here?
Yes.
So
Why? Why are you taking my picture?
why are you wearing that shirt? You're working. It's
It's
not a
a
Target
red
shirt.
shirt. I can wear any red shirt.
It's not a plain shirt.
It doesn't have to be a.
It's a Charlie Kirk shirt.
Yes. Oh, yes, I know.
Are you fucking stupid?
No.
Why the fuck would you wear that? You're at work at Target.
You can tell she's
It's
caught so
not a
off
Target
guard.
shirt. It's not a plain red shirt.
We
You
don't.
support a racist.
It's not racist.
You support a racist.
He's not a racist.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he fucking is.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stand here and argue with you.
You're not. You should go
over
get
it.
your manager. You should not be allowed to wear that at work. Unacceptable. Unfucking acceptable.
That's your opinion.
No, the opinion is he's a fucking racist and you support him.
That's your opinion.
And you shouldn't.
Yeah, that's your opinion,
not be
lady.
allowed to wear that. This is going to be taken above your fucking head. That's insane.
Have a
Insane.
nice day.
Affluent
Oh man.
female liberals have
Yeah.
to be stopped. Awfuls. The awfuls have to be stopped.
Oh,
because
that's good.
yeah, they're
I've never heard
awful
that before.
human beings. Shout out to Michael Malice for coining that term. Yeah, dude. It is, and you can tell by the sound of her voice, she is a college indoctrinated white female liberal. It shout out. If that was me, Alex, I don't know how you would have reacted, but shout out to that lady for being polite and calm through that entire interaction, being cursed at. Like, I'm okay if you want to like give me your opinion, that's whatever. Once you start cursing at me though, that's a different story. And I have the temper of an Italian. So I don't know how I would have reacted in that situation. It's like, hey, you got your opinion,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I think
But
my first reaction would have been repeating her question. Are you effing stupid? Right back rhetorically. No. Are you effing stupid? What is going on here?
That's a Charlie Kirk shirt. Yeah, I know. I put it on this
Yeah.
morning.
But I also like how she wasn't like, listen, Parker, Dean, take notes. This lady obviously was offended and she didn't even soy face. she she expected it. She's like, "Ah, yeah, it's all right. You can
Yes.
say whatever you want. I don't really care. Have a
Like,
good
I want to
day."
send that lady a Christmas card. Like, just
Well, he's gonna have a wonderful Christmas. 'Cause I think someone made her a GoFundMe, and I think it's over $200,000. So
no way.
yeah, I'm pretty sure she's gonna have an
Wow.
amazing Christmas.
Wow.
But like, at what point, um, I can't believe like you're gonna call Charlie Kirk a racist. So then, what does racist mean to you? And how would you differentiate between Charlie Kirk and a leader of the KKK? Are they both just racist?
Whatever I don't like is racist, Alex. Whatever
Yeah.
I don't like. It's insane. You know why? Because they didn't grow up in a time where the KKK was around. So they've never actually met a real racist. Chances are they may have, because they're still out there. But
Yeah.
it's so rare, dude. I can't. I'm a white guy. I'm around a lot of white people quite frequently. If you would think, just like the way the media talks about us, that I would hear racial slurs every day, everywhere I go. That's just not how it is. Like, every now and then I run into a good old boy who is pretty racist, but he's the outlier these days, right? This lady has never met a real racist in her entire life. Charlie Kirk. In fact, I'm willing to bet, as most people on the left have never even watched a full video of Charlie Kirk. They got their opinion from someone who told them what their opinion should be. And just to have the guts, just to have the gall to go up to a stranger and do that, like, unreal, man. Unreal.
Yeah. And are we surprised that this video was posted to TikTok? No,
Right.
no, we are not.
No, we're not.
And dude, literally, I was on a TikTok live stream the other night, and somebody was cursing me out, just literally spurging out all over me. And my live stream gets flagged for bullying, right? I get punished.
What?
This woman literally went and bullied this old lady, and she gets rewarded with virality.
Right. Yeah, her TikTok blew up, hopefully with negative comments. Yeah, that's
Well, did you see the interview she did after, the older lady?
Mm-mm.
She was even more graceful and charitable with the person. She's like, I don't agree. I don't like that she did that, but I don't want to see anybody lose their job over that. I was like, wow. Good for you.
Good for you, lady. Just demonstrating Christian values in a moment where it mattered, right? Where you had no idea that you were going to be viral for that moment. You could have easily, just like me and you might have done, cursed right back at her, and then we would have been the jerks, kind of. I'm sure there's been plenty of people who defended us, but just the fact that she had what's the word I'm looking for? I'll say class, but that's not the word I'm looking for right now. Just to, be polite. Yeah. Have a good day. I'm not going to stand here and argue with you. Have a nice day. See you later. Yeah. Good for her. Good for her.
And now you sent me a clip about Islam. I'm going to play that. But before, I think the reason that you sent it is because violence in Islam is obviously always a factor, but with the Bondi Beach shooting, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we also have one that's close to me, like literally 15 minutes away from me, is the Brown University shooting. Now, I'll be honest, I've been following the Brown University shooting much more closely because it's so close to me, and I know people involved, but I know the area very well. It's literally like, I think, a 12-minute drive from my house. So close.
Well, tell us about that. Tell us about the area. I mean, what's Brown University like? I mean, is it your typical middle of nowhere college town?
So it's not like, it's weird. Like, it's not, Providence isn't considered like necessarily a college town, but there are portions where the colleges are, and you're going to go see all the college students. So Providence, Brown University specifically, their Providence campus, they own a bunch of different buildings, but it's not like one campus where everything is. They basically own buildings where it's like this 3 buildings here. That's like this department, and there's a bunch of housing around it and a few stores. And then, like a couple blocks down, it's the same thing. And it's like that for one street. And the main street that it's off is Thayer Street. Thayer Street is all pretty much college and stores, and then like some housing above the stores and in dorms and stuff, obviously. But the stores are like, pizza joints, mostly restaurants, bars, hookah spots. It's actually, I used to go all the time when I was in high school, and we loved Thayer Street in high school. But it's so weird because like if you were on Thayer Street, you probably heard those shots. Like it's a very public area, but it's a private college. The thing is, they don't know who did it now,
which is crazy.
Right before we went
do you
live,
think they actually don't know who did it, Alex? Do you think they actually don't know?
I don't think they know who did it, but I think they're not letting on a lot of the information they have. I mean, for good reason, but also because they messed up. Now, right before this happened, they disabled a ton of cameras. They put in laws in effect to disable a ton of cameras because they didn't want Trump and ICE to use those cameras to aid in deportations. Rhode Island in general has been very against ICE. Even my own mom ended up getting a little virality on TikTok, stopping and yelling at an ICE agent.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty Democrat over here. But here's the thing. They actually surrounded a building in New Hampshire, a SWAT team, or the FBI at least, right before we went live. So we'll see what happens with that. But they said in connection to the Brown University shooting. But here's the thing. They disabled the cameras. So all the images they put out, like, you can't tell. You know what's scary? People are using AI to enhance the images, and it's giving them complete nonsense, completely made up images. And they're trying to use that to connect it to people. That is awful. That is absolutely awful. And it's only going to get worse over time.
So are they SWAT teaming like people who are completely innocent, or are these
I don't think the cops are using AI like seriously, but all over social media, that's what you're seeing.
Okay, so so it's getting put on social media, and at least giving chance to people to call this out as fake.
Well, here's the thing. There's a rumor because apparently there was a radical Muslim who was caught on camera like protesting Israel, right? A pro-Palestine protester, and their profile, they were a student, their profile was magically removed from the Brown University website. And so people started questioning that. Why did they do that? They were also I don't know if they're trans, but they wear lots of jewelry and dresses. So I don't know. And this person hasn't said a word, so they don't know where they are. So that's a rumor, right?
Okay.
But I mean, like, what happened to this person? Where are they? And then there was another, but the AI images, guess what? When you enhance the images of AI, it's not a Muslim looking person, ironically, right? So it's like people on the left are using it like, see, it's another white guy.
Because the Australian shooter was a total white guy, right?
Yeah.
No, you know what? It could see. Here's the thing, man. We have this unholy alliance between the left and Islam. It could be Trantifa. It could be Islam. But I guarantee you, it's one of the two. It's one of the two. Same thing with like we had talked about Charlie Kirk last week. Like I think that there is a underground trans militant movement that is in this country. And I think that there's more people involved than just the shooter. And I think you agree there's some questions that need to be answered there as well. So with this Brown stuff, man, who knows how this is going to end? But I feel like someone is in the background trying to craft a narrative right now. Like they know more than they're telling us. And they're like, how do we frame this? How can we make this not Islam or about trans people?
Yeah. And it's interesting that you bring that up because I think I'm starting to understand it more. I actually befriended a Muslim, and it was because I stopped vaping. right? So I started using nicotine pouches, and there's a place next to my work where the guy's all about it. Like he knows the in and out of nicotine pouches. So I started talking to him about it. He's giving me all these tips and like the best kinds and flavors.
Wait a minute, hold on. What tips are there for nicotine pouches? Like what?
Dude, there's tons of different brands. All right. Zins are trash. They're way too expensive. You only get 15 in a pack. You can get cheaper ones that are 20 in a pack that taste better, have more nicotine. All right, listen, I got all the tips and tricks from this guy.
I had no idea. This is like a whole underground world here.
Yeah, and he's like, when I talk to him, I'm like he seems like a pretty good guy. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm asking him about politics, and he's like, huh. I'm like, so he's like, well, I'm pretty socially liberal and economically conservative. Or no, vice versa. Economically liberal and socially conservative. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, but I would never vote for a Republican. And I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, they hate us. And I was like, okay, I get that. And like, he's like, especially like older Republicans, the Bush era Republicans, right?
Sure.
So I was like, okay, I get that. But then I'm thinking, man, I think that the future political discourse in America is not right versus left. It's Christianity versus Islam, because the secularists are just gonna they off their children, right? They don't have children.
Correct.
They're nobody, like, secularism's dead. All right. Nobody is.
It's on its way out. That's for sure. It's got one foot out the door.
It is dying. And I think the future political discourse is Christianity versus Islam. I really believe that.
Yeah, you can see the seeds of it being sown right now. The stuff going down in Dearborn, the protests in Texas the other day, because Texas is they're building mosques, and they found towns in the state of Texas that are trying to enforce Sharia law. Islam is a dominate and submit religion. It is not compatible with the West. In fact, Charlie Kirk said it best. If you meet a Muslim who is a good person, they are a good person because they are a bad Muslim. But this guy right here, actually, before you play this video, is there any comments in the chat we want to shout out?
Yeah, so I just want to say, Will Dean, look, I appreciate you being here and hanging out. Well, I am not Islamic. Yeah, you're not. But either you will be, right? Or for every one child you have, if you do end up having children, the Muslim is going to have 6, right? And the Christian is going to have 2.5. So what is the future of America just based on those statistics, Will?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why you got to shut down immigration from those countries.
Yeah. And Christians and Muslims are tired of you indoctrinating our children, so we're not sending them to your institutions anymore. We're homeschooling them.
Yep.
Like, so
100%.
we're on to game now.
See, here's the thing between and Daryl. I think we may have talked about this. Virgil Walker, Daryl Harrison, Just Thinking podcast did a whole 3 hours deep dive on political Islam, and it's there. Where am I going with this? There is no. There's no the marriage between Marxism and Islam is short-lived, right? Because they, like you just said, they're not indoctrinating their children. They're not they're not about the LGBT stuff. They're going to pretend and lie to you that they are about the LGBT stuff so they can use you as an ally. And then should Sharia law ever come, like in a hypothetical situation, America becomes Islam and Sharia law reigns throughout, the Marxists will be the first ones executed. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, especially the LGBT crowd.
Yeah, done. You guys are done.
I'm not gonna put the comment on screen, but Randy just called someone in my chat a sand Mormon, and I've never heard that before.
I've never heard that.
And it makes complete sense. Man! All right,
hold on. Who's this Daniel? Our founding fathers, the Democrats, hate America and hate what we founded Christian principles. This country would not be if it wasn't for God. Facts. Well, I agree with some of that, but I don't think our founding fathers were Democrats. Or am I reading this wrong?
No, secularism. He has another comment here. Secularism is an attack against God and making people hate America, brainwashing with the indoctrination. our founding fathers. I think you're saying the Democrats hate our founding fathers.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, then I agree with you. Yeah, you nailed
And look,
it. You nailed it.
I'm not saying America should be exactly what the founding fathers wanted. I don't think they get to determine our future, but I do agree with a lot of what they said. And they basically wanted Christian normativity with religious liberty. And I can get down with that for the most part. But how do you have Christian normativity if you don't enforce a Christian population? It's kind of tough to have both. Or to
Yeah,
have
so
one
I
without
think
the
what
other.
most of the founders, except maybe a couple of them, a small handful were, deists or, like Thomas Jefferson was like a Christian sort of, he like cut out stuff from his Bible, but he still believed in Christian principles. So there were like some weirdos like that. But for the most part, what they mean by religious liberty is that denominations of Christianity, they did not, they did not intend to build mosques here in America in any way, shape, or form.
That's the thing is like there weren't airplanes. There wasn't mass migration. They had no idea
Correct.
what could be done to America with what they put into practice.
When you read the Federalist Papers, okay, because I'm reading the Federalist Papers right now, and granted, it's only 3 of the founding fathers who wrote them: Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison. So, but they wrote a lot of these papers, right? And it's funny when you're reading them, they just assume things that turned out hundreds of years in the future to not be true. You know what I'm saying? So they'll be like, yeah, we don't have to worry with like, because all the Federalist Papers is a sales pitch for the Constitution, right? The Constitution, the convention has concluded. Now they're trying to convince the states to ratify it. And these 3 founding fathers, New York was like on the fence about this. So they're writing letters to newspapers and outlets in New York trying to convince the people to back this. So it's a giant sales pitch. But in these letters, they're just like, yeah, you don't have to worry about this because why, that's not how life is. That's not how society is. And you see this theme throughout where it's like they're just assuming that society is going to be in the future how it is right now, not knowing the crap storm that, yeah.
100%. And before we play this, I just want to address Will again. I have 2 children. They love me. They love my wife. You'll learn too much into this, whether it is actual or just per stupid. I don't know. And he says you 2 seem like possibly straight males that definitely do not have children. This is what you don't understand. It literally does not matter whether we have children or not, and you do. We could have 0 children, and you could have 10, and it still wouldn't make a difference to the point that I said earlier. That's like saying, hey, I literally said this in a debate last night. I don't have it on my stream because the recording wasn't working, but I don't know if anybody else was watching last night live. I literally asked my opponent, I said, can you say that women have longer hair than men? And he said, no, I can't say that. And I even qualified it more. I said, what about most women have longer hair than most men? And he said, no, I couldn't say that either. Because this, like, I don't understand. You guys don't get this, but like, you don't, like, this is generalities. This is how averages work. Like, when I say that Christians and Muslims are having more children, it doesn't mean that every single Christian has more children than every single secular. Like, I don't even understand how you guys come up with this stuff. It's crazy.
It's got to be absolute, Alex. It's got to be absolute. Can't speak in generalities here.
All right. Now, Nabil Qureshi, for those who don't know, was a Muslim. He had a radical conversion to Christianity, and he was one of, if not the top apologist against Islam for a long time, and he sadly passed away to some sort of cancer, I believe. And I mean, he was just an awesome guy, and I haven't even seen this clip yet, so let's watch it together.
So what you've just seen is one category of violence, which is violence to unbelievers, fighting in jihad, struggling in order to win people to Islam. But there's also violence towards other groups of people. In Sahih Bukhari, you have a list of 10 hadith in a row that talk about violence to apostates. Sahih Bukhari 69:21 says that female apostates should be killed. Sahih Bukhari 69:22 says anyone who leaves Islam must be killed. 69:23, Muhammad himself orders apostates to be killed. 69:30 is another example where Muslims who kill apostates have a reward on the day of resurrection. So I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not on the first day when I was sharing my testimony, but right before I became a believer, Mike Lacona called me up and he said, Nabil, do you understand what you're doing? And I said, yeah, I think I do. And he says, didn't you hear about the family in New Jersey recently who were all stabbed to death because they had accepted Christ and left Islam. Do you realize what you might be giving up? So that actually happens. It happens even in the West. People who leave Islam are often killed for it. Does it happen often in the West? No, not often. But does it happen? Yeah. And does it happen in other parts of the world? You better believe it. It happens a lot. Why? Because it's found in the Hadith. The attempt to divorce violence from Islam fails because it is so intricately woven at the innermost level that to pull violence out would be to fold out the foundations of Islam.
100%.
Before I comment on that, folks, if you're watching right now, kindly hit that thumbs up button for your brothers. Share the show with everyone you know and subscribe to our channels if you have not already.
Yeah, man. Nabil is awesome. Islam, if they could, as Daniel Hakikaju put it in his debate with Andrew Wilson at DebateCon, which I watched live. After we're all done gooning in the coom, what do you call it? The coom pods. After we're all done gooning in the coom pods and our legs have atrophied from not using them in our VR worlds, they're going to come with their swords and their low IQ, and they're going to cut our legs off. This is what Islam wants. Islam has absolutely no problem spreading their religion through the sword. And so why are we surprised when we see violence perpetrated by them in countries that are not their own?
We shouldn't be surprised at all. And what he said about leaving Islam is 100% accurate. You talk to anybody who's left it. I have a personal friend who converted to Islam as a 20-something and left after a year being in Islam. He was so terrified, he vanished himself from the internet so he couldn't be found, changed his phone number, and moved because he said these people are crazy. You don't join Islam and leave. Like that's
like a gang.
Yeah, and this is America. Like he was terrified here because some of them don't care if they get thrown in jail. They will come and get you.
Yeah. They
will come and get you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it has part to do with that low IQ thing again too, but I'm not sure.
You might be wrong to something.
I just actually reacted. I did a short. Me and Jeremiah do a lot of shorts and short reaction clips. And I just reacted. My most recent one, or second most recent one, was a Muslim in the UK. And he was just basically expressing, a reporter was asking him, like, what do you think about Sharia law? What about people who don't want Sharia law? What do you think about their law? And he was like, basically, and he's in her country, right? And he's like, if your law is not Islamic law, then you guys can go to hell, basically. It's like, it's not like they don't want to come to America, for example, and just like assimilate and like follow American law. They want to come and take over and push Sharia law and make Sharia law the dominant force. What do you think happens, right, when Muslims move into a neighborhood, right? And let's say they are 90% of the population in a certain area. And then they set up their own Sharia law courts. And the people within that community are not allowed to go outside of those Sharia law courts. Do you think any good comes from that? Or do you think it just spreads more and more until we have massive populations of Muslims who are trying to take over our country? And what do you do to stop it? Can't it, or when you limit Somalians from immigrating, that's racist though, right?
It's just like socialism, dude. You can vote your way into socialism, but you have to shoot your way out. That's exactly how it would be with Islam if we found ourselves in that situation. In fact, many Christians found themselves in that situation in the medieval ages when they were fighting armies of Islamists and trying to get them out of Europe. Luckily, we had Christian heroes who, stopped the complete takeover of Europe and eventually pushed a lot of them back. But the idea. And a lot of them will tell you like, oh, I love Jesus and I love my Christian brothers and Christians and Muslims. We get along. Like we have no problems with you guys. Well, that's because you're not dominating us right now. Because if you were in charge and you were the majority, I would be paying you a tax. I would be humiliated whenever you could humiliate me or you would kill me. That's and the passive ones would just go along with it. They'd be fine with it. You know, they might not be the ones to commit violence on you, because there are Muslims who are not violent, but they would tolerate the violence 100%.
It was very interesting to see the contrast at DebateCon, because, like you said, there are those Muslims out there who take the different approach. Daniel Hakikachu did not take that approach, although he was trying to be a little ecumenistic. But what's his name, Junior, who did absolutely awful and actually called his wife in the middle of the debate and said, "Hey, baby, I've never laid my hands on you, right?"
That's crazy. But you know
like,
what?
look,
I did. Yeah, sure. And you know what? I do believe that some of them probably do want to leave Islam and be West, you know, assimilate to Western culture, and they're probably terrified too. But you know, I did a reaction video too, where shoot, was it Iraq? And a Muslim filmed himself beating his wife for disobeying him, and he did it so he could show his neighbors what you know, what a good job of laying down the law he does in his household. Like, she's like crying, and like it's an uncomfortable video to watch. But that's and you gotta wonder, like, there is not a Muslim country that is not third world. Right, so like they're not even like they come into your country and they come into your country and degrade it. They don't build it up. It's wild stuff, man. It's wild stuff, but it has no place.
Yeah, but don't worry, Jeremiah. They're gonna come here and they're gonna actually, what they couldn't accomplish in their own countries, they're gonna actually accomplish here. They're gonna become doctors.
Real Sharia law hasn't been tried, Alex.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Good stuff. Someone in the chat, as it was, I'm trying to glance over there. I don't want to get too caught up in it because there's a lot going on. But someone had mentioned, why do you guys keep switching topics so much? Well, because we got a little bit of time and we want to cover a lot of topics. That's why.
Yeah, a lot of news. This show is basically meant just two guys sitting down and talking about current events through a Christian worldview. We're figuring it out too, man. Like we're trying to figure it out here.
Change. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is just stay with us, keep watching, and watch us evolve into hopefully something that is entertaining for most. It will never be entertaining for all because we're Christians and people hate Christ, but it'll be entertaining for most.
Yeah. And then if you really, what's interesting is all of my content is usually debate stuff. So I get triggered when I see you guys. I just want to invite you up here when I see you guys talking in the chat.
To debate. So says the descendants of colonizers. No, conquerors. We're not colonizers. We're conquerors.
Yeah. Yes. Amen. Oh man, it's so horrible that you conquered those people who ate the hearts of their enemies. How dare you?
How dare you?
I need that as a stream deck asset is Greta Thunberg. How dare you?
How dare you? Well, she's getting crazier as she gets older too. Like, who saw that coming?
Yeah, she's she kind of stayed quiet for a little bit and then she went right back into it. Kind of like Milo Yiannopoulos, huh?
Yeah, that guy. Man, I don't even know what to think about him sometimes.
Yeah, they're all playing a game. I get it. All right, so we have been going for almost an hour. Do you want to kick it with chat for a little bit? You want to hit that other video? You sent me another one. I don't know.
I'm forgetting what I sent you.
Here, I'll show you. It was Matt Walsh, Robert E. Lee. Which, to be honest, I don't know too much about this situation. But if you do.
I don't know too much about it other than what is happening and what Matt Walsh said about it. Basically, the Robert E. Lee statue that they tore down got replaced with somebody nobody knows because Virginia has fallen and DEI is king in the state of Virginia. And it's fine. Like, it'd be different. Like, I don't know. First of all, I don't know how I feel about statues getting torn down because I'm like torn between like, do we honor people who fought for things that maybe weren't great for our country? But see, here's the thing, man. The American Civil War, so many people want to make it black and white, but it is so many shades of gray. Like it was a very complicated subject. And I think about it like, yeah, maybe, Robert E. Lee personally wasn't a bad person. Maybe he fought for some bad ideas, but you don't see him in Rome and Greece tearing down statues of like Caesar and Alexander the Great, who were rapists and murderers and conquerors. Like those statues stay up. So why can't Robert E. Lee's statue stay up?
Yeah, no, I think you can find a reason to tear anybody down. That's why like it's so easy when you're the losing person, right? People do Trump versus Kamala debates. Still to this day, you can go on TikTok and people will ask you who'd you vote for and why, and that'll be the entire debate stream, and they'll do it every single day. And it's easy when you have the current president because it's easy to tear down one person. Like we're humans. Like we all suck. All right. Sorry if you didn't know that, but we all suck. And you can find things morally reprehensible with all of them, especially right. Here's the thing that people don't understand with somebody like Charlie Kirk. When you spend 3 hours a day talking into a mic, you bet your ass you're gonna say something that you should, right? Or you're going to be misunderstood.
That you might regret later. Yeah.
Right. When you're making policy, have you ever made a policy in your life? No. Okay. So then there's no way for you to make a bad policy, right?
Right.
So like when you make policies for a living, you're going to make bad policies.
Yes.
Like, people don't get that.
They expect like these people to be perfect, like perfect human beings. And we can only elect perfect people, even though the people that they like are far from perfect. But look, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So even those of us with the best intentions, doing the best we can, we're going to fall short. We're going to make a mistake. We're going to say things we shouldn't. We're going to think things we shouldn't. I mean, it's just going to happen. So yeah, that's a great point, man. That's a great.
So why can't you honor Robert E. Lee for the good that he did for a certain group of people, while also acknowledging his downfalls?
Correct.
Why can't both be true?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Instead, we have Barbara Rose John statue.
Yeah.
Do you know who Barbara Rose John is?
No idea. And do you know what they engraved on the statue? The biblical illiteracy?
No.
Isaiah, I think 11, 7 or 7:11. You can look up the exact verse, but basically it's talking about the state of the new heavens and the new earth. And you've heard this before, Jeremiah, where they talk about the lion and the lamb laying together and all this beautiful imagery. And then it talks about all these animals who don't get along or getting along. And it says, even a small child will lead them. So what is this imagery getting across? It's getting across the peace that we will have with not only humans and God, but also nature, right? And the new heavens and new earth. When it says a child is leading them, it's not literally saying like a child is leading a group of people into like war or in some sort of policy. Like it's literally saying that a child is leading a lion and a lamb together, just talking about general peace, right? So that's the verse they engraved in this statue because she was a student and she had, I don't even really know what she did. I had to look it up, but
I think she did something about segregation, maybe.
Yeah, so she stood up for something in classroom. And so they use this verse to say, look, children can lead us. And it's like, actually in the Bible, when God says that children are leading a nation, it's actually, it's a curse and a judgment on that nation. So
yeah, that's, man, Virginia has fallen so hard. I have friends in Virginia that are just like, get me out of here. It's just getting worse. It's becoming New York and California is what it's becoming. What do we got in the chat here, Lane? Let's hit the chat a little bit.
Well, Will Dean is retarded. Excuse me. The fact that you said you work for 3 hours, I said Charlie Kirk talked into a mic for 3 hours a day. That man outworked you in a single day than you do in an entire month, probably.
Oh, like, guaranteed.
That dude was one of the hardest working men in America. But whether you hate everything that came out of his mouth, he was objectively one of the hardest working men in America. Yeah,
you don't get the phone number to text message Donald Trump by being a lazy bum.
People are funny, man.
Confederates are losers and traitors to the United States. So how can patriots support the Confederacy? I think you're misunderstanding us. We're not saying that we support the Confederacy. We're saying that Robert E. Lee, there were some good things about him. There were some bad things about him. But again, I point to the ancient rulers in European countries who leave their statues up of rulers who did way more heinous things than Robert E. Lee could have ever dreamed of doing. All he did was lead an army. He wasn't a rapist. He wasn't a murderer, serial murderer, right? He was just, hey, I want to defend the state of Virginia, and some of the ideals that were lumped into that he was fighting for. Probably not great ideas, right? We don't want to keep slavery in this country, right? It needed to end. So we can say that, yeah, maybe it was bad that he fought to keep that around. But I don't think we need to tear down his statue because of that.
And you're talking about a guy who, when he lost the war, instead of trying to burn down everything in hatred and anger, accepted the outcome, surrendered,
Exactly.
and actually integrated back into society with new laws that he did not want. Yet he put that aside because it's like two guys at a bar going outside, punching each other in the face. One guy gets on top and starts winning. The other guy's all right. And then they go back into the bar and have a drink again. Is that more honorable than the guy who goes back to the car to get a gun and try to sneak up on the guy who just beat him? Right? Like,
good point. Good point, man. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. In fact, Robert E. Lee had contemplated breaking his army up and sending them into the wilderness to fight guerrilla warfare for the rest of the war instead of surrendering. But no, he chose the honorable thing to do. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to drag this on. I'm not going to, the bloodbath up to that point, by the time they surrendered, was insane. Nobody, when the American Civil War started, nobody predicted 600,000 deaths. Nobody. So he made the right call. He was hey, you can't hold every historical figure to the morals of today, right? You can't hold them to today's standards. That doesn't make any damn sense.
Amen. Well, is there anything that we missed?
I think we hit it all. We did talk about Trump. I did send you something else on Trump, but we don't have to hit that because we hit Trump earlier in the show. So if there's any other chats you want to bring up, otherwise we can wrap it up.
What else did you say? What else did you send?
I
just got 3 videos: Charlie Kirk, Nabil Qureshi, and
I was going to say pull up Trump's post about Rob Reiner. We can talk about that, but
oh yeah.
But we hit Trump pretty hard in the beginning.
All right. We won't go there. But what about let's see, did they catch this guy? Brown University, New Hampshire. Because this was literally like they surrounded the building as I opened up the StreamYard link.
Where did they? Was it
in New Hampshire? About 45 minutes from Boston.
Fed surround building. All the
wow. Live updates. Suspect, not confirmed. In Brown, MIT professor shootings found dead in New Hampshire. We got him. Ted Dox, special agent in charge of FBI Boston, says at a press conference. Who is it?
MIT shooting. What?
He
was involved in 2 shootings?
No. He's an MIT professor.
Oh, he is an MIT professor. Okay. I thought you said he also killed an MIT professor. I was like, geez. Okay. I'm going to guess his politics and say he voted for Kamala Harris. Do we have information on the professor?
Nuno Loureiro.
MIT. I'm trying to look this up. Breaking. Brown University.
They reported his death 2 days ago.
Alex, Portugal national.
Yeah, I saw that too. I didn't want to bring that up, dude. Wait.
You guys.
Did we? What? Is this right?
Confirmed dead.
No.
No.
Suspect and slain MIT. It might be some connection there, but
I see. Yeah. Brown University. Well, let's see. Eric Doherty is reporting Brown University suspected shooter is a Portugal national, not a citizen, confirmed dead, and a student at Brown. Claudio Valente, 48. Portugal is the same country where the slain MIT professor is from. So it is
was
a
it
slain
that
MIT.
student that we were
Allegedly,
talking about?
Valente. Absolute failure.
You said it was something about a student?
Yes, and a Brown.
Oh,
and a
former.
student. Yeah, and a
Former
former student
student.
at Brown. 48 years old.
Claudio
Assume you're a
Manuel. Still a Portuguese national.
And then this MIT professor, MIT fusion pioneer Nuno Loureiro, shot dead at home. So what's the connection? This has got conspiracy written all over it. I mean, what is this? A fusion pioneer, like nuclear?
They
fusion
always
pioneer?
take their own life too, man.
Okay, who
You
was talking smack
you're not
about
getting
Hillary
anything
Clinton?
out of him now.
Who was talking smack about Hillary Clinton?
By the way,
I'll fight him right now. You talking about my girl Hillary?
This is wild. Yeah, I don't know what would the so now we got to find out why this guy murdered the MIT professor and did the Brown shooting.
Was it did he kill the MIT professor?
That's what it says. Is now linked to the murder of an MIT professor. Yeah. Authorities admit the cases are connected after initially denying it. This was 55 minutes ago. Authorities say Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, a person of interest in the Brown University national. You got a video
go
pulled
to
up?
both? No, why? Did you hear something?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll mute that. It was just an automatic video playing.
Self-inflicted gunshot wound in a New Hampshire storage unit.
What?
Yeah.
This is strange.
This is crazy. Connected to the murder of an MIT nuclear fusion professor just days later, reversing earlier FBI claims of no link. Investigators say a rental car tied to the Brown case matches the vehicle connected to the MIT killing. The case has rapidly escalated into a multi-state homicide investigation. Wow. Okay. Well, next Thursday, we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some research on this here.
For sure. But yeah, man, let's wrap it up. Thank you all for joining us on our second Thursday night live stream. I'm Jeremiah Campana. Please hit that like button. If you've been around, you're watching on either of our channels, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to both of our channels, share the show with everyone you know, your mom, your dad, your uncles, your cousins, former roommates, everybody. Check out, Alex joined me on my Christmas roundtable, where me and a group of Christian brothers sit around, talk all things Christmas. You get husband advice, Puritans canceling Christmas, all kinds of crazy stuff. So make sure you check out that video as well. Alex?
Yep. Sorry, I was just cleaning up my chat real quick. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We appreciate you. We're going to try to do this every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
What's next week? How close is it to Christmas?
Day after. I will be. So
No,
we'll have to
Thursday
pick up
is the 25th.
Yep. So Christmas Day, we will not be here. So find us find us back here on the
January
following
1st.
January 1st, my birthday.
Well,
let's do it.
And New Year's. I mean, I don't do anything for New Year's. And we'll be done before the ball drops.
So it is, well, no, it's Thursday the 1st. So not the 31st.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're
so
good.
We're
Yeah,
good. Yeah. Everybody's
I'm
off
stupid.
on New Year's Day. Nobody does anything on New Year's Day.
Cool. Yeah. So January 1st, we'll have a clean 2026. We'll get like 48 shows in. It'll be awesome. And who knows what'll happen from there.
And I'll be 40 years old on that day, dude. Oh, I already feel my knees buckling. My knees hurt. My back hurts.
Unk. We got Unk over here.
Yeah. Someone called me Unk today on X because I called him Squirt.
That's funny.
All right, everybody.
No, you have the authority to talk way more crap now. Now you just abuse authority. That's Oh man. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Happy Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Christ is King.
Christ is God.